Welcome to another mysterious journey of mysticism and intrigue.
Join us as we investigate these bizarre cases.
How did a man cheat fate in a 1 in a million chance death fall? Will you work it out?
We attempt to uncover the fantastic secrets locked deep inside these ancient giant stones.
And do identical twins have strange psychic powers? It's a mystery how a 1 in a million chance can leave your destiny in the hands of fate. So just how lucky can you be?
Well, I don't believe you swear like that. Okay guys, get your kits on.
Imagine you're an experienced parachute jumper. You've jumped on many an occasion and the conditions are perfect. Imagine waiting for the plane to take off.
Great day today. We're going to have a great jump.
The jump master is checking your equipment from head to toe, and soon you're all ready to get into the plane.
Okay, all done. Happy?
Headcorn, parachute aircraft, departing 1-1, dropping at 10,000 feet.
Okay, you're going to get in there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now imagine you're in the plane, 10,000 feet up in the air. You're getting nearer to the drop zone and to that big moment. You're looking forward to it, but there is always a hint of danger.
Running in!
Nevertheless, the chances of anything going wrong are very, very slim.
5 left! Okay, cut! There you go.
Now imagine how you feel when the jump master calls you over. You're ready to go, and you jump. You're out in thin air. The ground is far below, and you are free-falling downwards. You pull the cord on your parachute and count to yourself 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, check canopy. You look up to check your parachute canopy, but there's no parachute there. You tug again at the parachute cord, hard. Nothing. Your head is now spinning, but you try to remain calm. You reach for the cord on your reserve parachute and you tug it. Nothing. You are now hurtling at over 120 miles an hour towards the earth, and in a matter of seconds, you are going to hit the ground. What would you do? Can you imagine how you would feel? You try to gather your thoughts, but you're plummeting downwards. The ground is getting closer and closer, and you are falling like a stone. Nearer, nearer. You can see the treetops. It's just a matter of seconds. 5, 4, you hit the treetops. 3, 2, and everything goes black.
What's happened? Is it all a dream? Have you fainted? Or is that really the end? Well, just think about this for a moment. The human body is travelling towards a hard, dense earth at 120 miles per hour. Medical science says that at that speed, the impact on the human body would have been like this.
Everything was black, but it felt very warm. There was a horrible smell and a bitter taste in the mouth. In fact, what had happened was that having fallen 10,000 feet at a speed of 120 miles an hour, the parachutist, by pure chance, had landed completely unhurt, splat, right into a huge pile of stinking manure. And what's more, it's a true story. It really happened last year to a parachutist called Ray Pate from Chicago in America.
Isn't that incredible? What are the chances of that happening? Just think about it for a minute. Let's say that the chances of both your parachutes not opening are 1 in a million at least. Well, that's nothing compared to the chances of plunging thousands of feet and landing in something soft. But the chances of your parachute not opening, of landing in something soft and surviving, is it fate? Chance? Luck? Or could it be something we just don't understand? What do you think?
It's a mystery what an ancient stone like this was used for.
But this isn't just any old lump of rock. This mysterious stone is nearly 1 metre thick, 2 metres wide, and almost 5 metres high.
Legend has it that stones like this have magical qualities and feel warm to the touch. Some are thought to be magnetic, and others are shrouded in a special moss. This natural block of hard stone weighs around the same as 3 double-decker buses put together.
Yet thousands of years ago, a stone like this was carefully placed with other stones that had been moved by hand nearly 300 miles. In fact, there's only one word to describe them: Stonehenge. Stonehenge is in Wiltshire and is a famous group of colossal stones. One of its greatest mysteries has recently been solved: its age. It's thought that the construction of Stonehenge began around 5,000 years ago and took over 1,000 years to complete.
Now, because it took so long to build, Stonehenge must have been very important to the people of the time. However, the mystery remains: why was it built? And why was it this shape?
There have been many theories and explanations, ranging from the believable to the downright bizarre. For example, there have been reports that Stonehenge was a beacon for aliens from outer space.
Or that Stonehenge is like some kind of giant computer, capable of complex calculations based on the sun, moon, and stars.
Well, what the experts do know is that the people of the time who built it were much more in tune with the natural world than we are today, because their lives depended on it. They didn't have clocks, and they certainly didn't have any TV or radio. The sun was extremely important to these ancient people, and they needed to know when to reap, sow, and harvest. So many experts think that one of Stonehenge's main uses might have been as some kind of early seasonal calendar. On the morning of the longest day, Midsummer's Day, if you were to stand in the middle of Stonehenge, looking that way, like our little camera there, looking at this stone over here, which is called the heel stone, then everything lines up precisely. At dawn, the sun rises from behind the heel stone, signalling that it's Midsummer's Day.
And on Midwinter's Day, if you turned this way, again, moving our little camera, and you look through that archway, then everything lines up, and again, you would see the sun rise.
So could Stonehenge be a kind of ancient calendar to mark the seasons, so that the people of that time could plan their farming year?
Well, it sounds plausible, but this doesn't explain why it was so important to ancient man that it took over 1,000 years to build. What do you think? Could it be a kind of farmer's diary? A meeting place for rituals? Or is it something different altogether?
I'm Sylvia Mowday. In June 1954, something very bizarre happened to me. My 2 children and I had been to a naval display in Sutton Park. It was very dark and stormy, and within seconds it was absolutely pouring down. When we got under the trees, the hail came At least I thought it was hail. But it wasn't hail. It was thousands of frogs falling from the sky. They covered everything, and the floor was swarming with them. First it was raining hard, then it was raining frogs. It's incredible, I know, but it happened. It really did rain frogs.
Do you think Sylvia really could have seen frogs raining from the sky? Or do you think that she could be imagining things? Well, she is not alone. Believe it or not, throughout history, many strange storms have been recorded around the world. From as far back as the 16th century, illustrations have been found of fish falling from the sky. And these are fish that are said to have rained from the sky at East Ham in London during May 1984. Some coal and grit was reported to have fallen over the Bournemouth area on the 5th of June 1983. And there have also been many other accounts of frogs falling from the sky, including strange little pink ones that fell in Stroud, Gloucestershire in 1987. These even made headline news. So what causes these mysterious storms? Is it possible that such things can rain down from the sky? Well, one theory is that these weird storms are the result of hurricane-force winds causing waterspouts, whirlwinds and tornadoes. These powerful spiralling winds travel over the land and sometimes sea. Some experts believe they may be able to pick up things such as small fish, frogs and grit, only to drop them out of the sky hundreds or even thousands of miles away. So it sounds like Sylvia really could have been caught in a shower of frogs. What do you think?
It's a mystery what can happen in the blink of an eye. Watch my eyes. Go on, keep watching. Almost there. Wait for it. Aha! Did you see it?
Well, Sophie actually blinked. And what's more, she'll do it around 20,000 times today and every day.
And did you know that the muscle that controls blinking is the fastest muscle in the body? It's so fast that you blink in just 1/10 of a second.
Now, although a blink is quick, there are some things which are even quicker. So the mystery is, when you do blink, what are you actually missing?
You've probably never seen how quickly a chameleon flicks its tongue to grab its prey. Did you see it? It was all over in 1/16 of a second, so if you blinked, you'd have missed it. It's only by slowing it down that we can really watch what happens.
Another blink and you'd have missed it is the kingfisher, who darts into the water to catch fish. So unless you can slow it down, it's all over in the blink of an eye.
Amazing, isn't it?
Now, have you ever seen an arrow fly? Well, an arrow can leave a bow at over 170 miles per hour. Again, you'd miss it if you blinked.
And try this, Neil. Do this with your arms. Now, how many of those can you do in a second?
About 1.5.
Well, the little hummingbird can make an amazing 60 beats of its wings every second. So during the time you blink, the hummingbird will already have done about 6 full flaps of its wings.
That's fantastic. So it really is incredible what we miss in the blink of an eye.
It's a mystery what 2 strangers can have in common.
Imagine there are 2 men.
Let's call them Mr. X and Mr. Y.
They live on different sides of the country.
And they have never met each other.
They've never talked to one another and never written to one another.
In fact, they never even knew each other existed.
So, okay, let's uncover the identity of Mr. X and Mr. Y.
Well, Mr. X is called Jim.
Snap, Mr. Y is also called Jim.
Mr. X's wife is called Betty.
Snap, Mr. Y's wife is also called Betty.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. X have a son called James.
Mr. and Mrs. Y also have a son called James.
Aha, but Mr. X has a dog called Toy.
Aha, but Mr. Y also has a dog called identical toy.
And Mr. X used to work in a restaurant.
And guess what? Mr. Y also used to work in a restaurant.
Well, hang on a minute, because Mr. X and his family spent holidays in Florida.
Ah, that's where you got me. Because Mr. Y and his family also spent their holidays in Florida.
But the mystery gets even thicker, because every single thing from the colour of their hair, to their eye colour, to their shoe size, is exactly the same.
So if they've never met each other, what's going on? Are they clones? Could one of the Jims be an exact copy of the other, living in some mysterious parallel universe? What do you think? Who are Mr. X and Mr. Y?
Well, I can reveal that Mr. X and Mr. Y are in fact identical twins. You see, they were born to the same parents, but split up at birth and raised by different families in different parts of the country. They didn't even know of each other until someone brought them together 40 years later.
But the mystery doesn't end there. Why, when they had never met each other, did they have so much in common? Well, many believe that identical twins share an extrasensory bond, a kind of twin telepathy. They believe that twins who have grown up apart, like the Jim twins, will continue to share similar thoughts and feelings.
Well, science shows that identical twins are biologically the same in the way their bodies are made, but their personalities will usually have differences because of the things that have happened to them in their lives. Perhaps they ate different types of food, one healthy, one not so healthy. Perhaps they've read different types of books. And perhaps their hobbies are different. Maybe one learned to play a musical instrument, while the other learnt to play tennis.
So do you know any twins? If so, how alike are they? Well, this is Claire and Louise Belcher, who are identical twins. Now, Claire, did you actually grow up together?
Yes, we did. We were in the same classes at school. We shared the same circle of friends as well. Still do. Yeah.
And would you say that you are very similar, or are you very different?
Very similar. We have the same likes and interests. The only difference really is our hairstyles. I prefer to have my hair a bit longer. Yeah.
That's the only way I can tell you apart.
Yeah.
So have you shared any spooky coincidences?
Oh, plenty. Loads. We went to the same university and studied the same course. We also passed the driving test on the same day and even drive the identical cars now. But more spooky was when we applied for a job, and we applied for the same job without even letting the other one know. And we work for the same company now. Sit opposite one another in the same room.
What? So you didn't actually tell each other what job you were actually applying for?
No, definitely not.
So would you say that was down to twin telepathy?
Oh, it's a bit strange. There may be telepathy somewhere along the line, but I think it's more coincidence than anything. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
So are the twins' parallel lives just a series of amazing coincidences? Or do identical twins share a special twin telepathy? What do you think? Well, that's another collection of mysteries. Some we've solved, some remain unsolved.
And next time, we'll attempt to explain some more of them.
But here's one last mystery for you to solve.
A double-decker bus got stuck under a low bridge. The passengers tried to push it out, but it was well and truly stuck. Half an hour later, the driver was able to drive it out. The mystery is, how did he free the bus?
Can you solve it? We'll reveal the answer next time.
Last week's final mystery was, where should the Australian survivors of a plane that crashed on the border of France and Spain be buried? The answer is, you don't bury survivors.